How about a preview of players coming to town this weekend?
Whew, Darren, you ready? Notre Dame's got a huge recruiting week lined up. I tweeted this on Tuesday morning, like, this is Notre Dame's third week of spring ball. The first week, really big time visitors. Was that the week of Joey O'Brien, right? Javian Osborne, if I recall correctly. Last week, more big visitors. Caden Finley, the top receiver target. Big time prospects on campus last week. This week, it's like weeks 1 and 2 times 2. That is what week 3 is, if that math makes sense. And we're going to go through real quick 7 names.
Okay.
And there are so many others that we could talk about. This is in no order or anything. I just kind of pick some names and let's talk about them. Drake Quinn, Greater Atlanta Christian School in Norcross, Georgia. 4-star, the number 245 overall player, number 31 edge, according to the 2026 On3 industry ranking. And most of these guys we're about to talk about, except for 120, are in the 26 class. One is a 27 quarterback we're about to discuss. Man, Notre Dame's defensive line class, Darren. We're going to have a conversation, I think, in about anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months about, when is Notre Dame's last defensive line class that's better than this one in 26? Like, Al Washington and Nick Sebastian are absolutely cooking on the recruiting trail. Absolutely cooking. This has the chance to go down as one of Notre Dame's best defensive line classes. Look, I'm not a Notre Dame historian, so I'm not going to say of all time, but it's got a shot. It's got a shot. Drake Quinn, Notre Dame would be over the moon to add him. 6'3.5", 220-pound defensive end. Isaac Jensen is actually on campus today from Omaha, Nebraska. 3-star guy, not the most highly ranked, but 6'6", 225 pounds. Mike Denbrock got an in-person look at him in January. Irish offered him, really like him. Kari Adams, number 58 overall player, number 8 cornerback in America. Big-time player. Also going to take an official visit to Notre Dame. Irish should be over the moon to add Kari Adams. Nick Reddish, 3-star guy, in large part due to he didn't really get a junior year. He's had an injury that knocked him out really early in the season. From Charlotte Independence, North Carolina, again, crucial state for the Irish into the 26 class and moving on to 27. Bunch of pot of gold offers for the 27 cycle in the Tar Heel state. Nick Reddish, I like Notre Dame to land him. He's got this unofficial visit this week and an official visit in June. So yes, by the way, I'm not specifying which days all these guys are coming in for the sake of time, but all these guys expected to visit this week. Keegan Croucher, 2027 quarterback, 6'3", 185 pounds, number 60 overall prospect, number 8 quarterback in the 27 class. Like him a lot. I know Gino Dooley likes him a good bit too. He is definitely on the radar for someone who Notre Dame could offer at quarterback in the 27 cycle. If you've been listening to me for a little bit now, you know that Notre Dame's not offered any quarterbacks in that class yet. Croucher could be one of them. And then a couple teammates from South Garner High School in the Tar Heel State. Ebenezer Utate On3 ranks him as the number 36 overall player, the number 6 edge. So the other websites don't rank him as highly, but On3 views him as a borderline 5-star player. 6'4", 220 pounds, like where the Irish are at for Utate. And then Akene Ogboko, another borderline 5-star type of guy. On3 issue ranking, number 70 overall player, number 7 offensive tackle. 24/7 and ESPN have him ranked inside their top 50 national rankings. This will be Ogboko's first visit to Notre Dame in like a year and a half. Notre Dame was recruiting his older brother and had him for an official visit. Ended up signing with Georgia, but the younger Ogboko did visits as well. So that's just a few of the names. It's a huge week in South Bend. And again, there's several others that we didn't touch on there. But yeah, if you're following Notre Dame recruiting, lock in, strap in, follow me on Twitter at Mike T. Singer. Go to blueandgold.com. We're going to have a ton of updates.
Finally, Mike, second straight spring, the Irish have been toying with one of their top offensive players at wide receiver, Jeremiah Love. What's your take on that?
Okay. So this is the recruiting update, but I did kind of want to touch on this because I have a theory here, Darren. All right. So Jeremiah Love, last spring's working out a receiver. Nothing really came of it. Did we see Jeremiah Love, Darren, line up in the slot or anything in the fall? I don't remember anything. Or if he did, it was, maybe came in motion and took a jet sweep, or came in motion and lined up in the backfield. Yeah, nothing really of note. So he's doing it again this year. And we're talking about it on the YouTube channel at Blue and Gold, and people are dropping in the comments, happened last year. There's nothing to it. This is my tinfoil hat. Shout out to Goolsby. It's my tinfoil hat thought on this. I think Jeremiah Love, listen, everyone wants more snaps. I feel like Jeremiah Love probably wants more snaps. So it's like, all right, if you're putting J.D. Price in the game, put me in at receiver. Right? Aeneas Williams against, okay, put me in the slot. Like, give me some more looks. You come out in 22 personnel. If I'm a defensive coordinator and I see Price and Love in the game, I don't know where they're lining up. They could do two backfield. It could be, Love's in the slot. Yeah, man, it could be a defensive coordinator's nightmare. So I feel like J. Love really wants to do that. And maybe Deland McCullough didn't, Notre Dame's old running backs coach. So they're like, all right, Love really wants to do this. Let's entertain this a little bit last spring of 2024. Let's throw it out there. Okay. But nothing really comes of it. My opinion, my tinfoil hat is Love is pushing the envelope again. Put me in the slot. I don't want to come out as much. I want to play more in the slot. I feel like, look, we know that in January, all these guys are like signing new on NIL deals. What if Jeremiah Love kind of is like, so I want to play more in the slot. I want to play in the slot. And that's like some kind of agreement. And so that's why we're seeing it more in the spring.
Interesting.
Not sourced. I do know that Love really likes the idea of playing some receiver. But other than that, I just kind of, that everything else is my opinion, not coming from the Goog, nothing like that. But my thought is that this is something that Love is pushing. And it's not like, oh, he's just working out there, or we're trying to tease the media Notre Dame fans. That is my thought behind it, Darren.
I'm with you. I think that's a great thought. And I'm very excited to have a new running back coach to see the possibilities of a different rotation, because I think the Irish didn't have their best player on the field enough last year.
Yeah. And of course in the playoffs, limited due to the injury, but it was, it's all year. It's like, you look at his carries and it was just like, man, he just does not get the rock a ton. Mm-hmm. And Deland McCullough, fantastic running backs coach, just really try to have everyone in that room have their own role and everything. It'll be interesting to see. And Sider has said, we're not playing 5 running backs. So what that all looks like will certainly be fascinating. The snap count load, the carries and all that. We'll see what Juwan Sider wants to do.
And the answer to those questions will come eventually to blueandgold.com, where subscribers will have the first inside look at whatever they decide to do, right?
I agree. I really like to think at Blue and Gold, we cover everything. So if you're like, I need a one-stop shop for everything Notre Dame football, recruiting, Tyler and Jack did an incredible job covering the women's basketball and men's basketball programs respectively. Everything. The news, analysis, I think we do it all at Blue and Gold. So we're not only going to bring you the news and the intel, we're going to tell you what it means. So definitely lock in to blueandgold.com.